You are welcome here. You are welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. It's so great to see you all here with all your smiling faces. It's great. So also welcome to our Facebook friends that are watching the live stream, and to those folks that will watch us later on YouTube. We just welcome all of you and just celebrate your presence here in our lives. Let us hear from Bill Hadras. Mr. Bill. Did it.
She's the best, that kid.
Hey there. Good to see you.
All right.
Okay. Hi, there you go. You made it. Yay. Here comes another one. You made it. Yes.
All right.
All righty. Daddy's
So-
willing to come too. Okay. We hear you.
What we do affects the world. It can be both positive and negative. So I invite you all to relax for a second. Close your eyes if you'd like. And think of a time someone did something nice for you. How did that feel? Now, think of a time you did something nice for someone else. How did that feel? It's amazing how an act of kindness can be so powerful. So, how are you going to change the world next? What choice are you going to make? Are there any old choices you would like to change, or new choices you would like to make? Jane Goodall said, "What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." So with that, I invite you all to repeat after me. Today, I live with purpose.
Today I live with purpose.
And purpose lights my path.
And purpose lights my path.
And so it is.
And so it is. Yay. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Yay. Cool. Thank you. All right, kiddos, have fun. So, here's Reverend Susan Burrell. Hi.
Hi.
Reverend Susan is going to offer us a prayer.
I'm here.
Yay.
Is everybody else here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching at home, I just want to let you all know the practitioners and ministers are standing here in this sanctuary for you, with you, and even as you, because we are all that oneness of pure spirit, the I am presence. So I invite you to just gently dip into your heart center where love, where source energy resides, and feel that goodness, that hug that the kids were showing us this morning of love, of joy, of pure source energy. And I know that this day and every day is absolutely blessed with the guidance and the presence of spirit. And knowing that that is so, I know that today what needs to be said will be said, what needs to be heard will be heard, for the highest good of each of us individually and for our center and community collectively. Because today is about loving service loving service. And as I serve, I know who I am. I am love. And as I stand here, I radiate that source of love, as does everyone here today in the sanctuary. So knowing that this is the truth always and forever, I simply and humbly release my word into that law of love, knowing it has already transpired, transmuted, and transformed each of us this day. And so I simply let it be, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Reverend Susan, for that beautiful prayer. And let us continue to breathe deeply and allow ourselves to be in this spaciousness, in this glorious sanctuary that is filled with the love of the divine manifesting as each of us. This space is glorious because you are here, because we are here, because the divine lives through each of us. And so in the spirit of knowing that, we go deeper and we listen to the words of our sacred reading.
An excerpt from our book of the month, How Can I Help? By Ram Dass and Paul Gorman. We are in a predicament. We see a problem in always having to be somebody. So we decide to let it all go, become the model of humility, and aspire to the ideal of selflessness. One day, a rabbi, in a frenzy of religious passion, rushed in before the Ark of the Covenant, fell to his knees, and started beating his breast, crying, "I'm nobody, I'm nobody." The cantor of the synagogue, impressed by this example of spiritual humility, joined the rabbi on his knees. "I'm nobody, I'm nobody." The shamus, who was the custodian, watching from the corner, couldn't restrain himself either. He joined the other two on his knees, calling out, "I'm nobody, I'm nobody." At which point the rabbi, nudging the cantor with his elbow, pointed to the custodian and said, "Look who thinks he's nobody." What's to be done? When there's too much somebody, it's trouble. But we can't make believe we're nobody either. It's enough to make you throw up your hands and quit. Time for humor and perspective. The least we can do is acknowledge or remind ourselves that this is part of the predicament of being human. We all must deal with this conditioning. We are nobody and somebody always. The sense of ourselves as separate is what we are contending with virtually all of the time. It's our curriculum, and everybody's enrolled. But it is our joy to learn from our course of study. Somehow, through experience, through trial and error, we learn to accept more of the wholeness abiding in all of us. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. And so let us breathe into that wholeness abiding in all of us. We just anchor ourselves in it, and we recognize that it's a wholeness that's so great that it includes the appearance of brokenness. It includes the appearance of the somebodies we think we are and the nobodies we think we are. It's all of it. It's everything. For everything is God. Everything is love. Everything is the I am. I am, that which is aware. That which is aware of being aware is another name for God. I am. And so let us sing together our sacred chant and remember for ourselves that I am presence that embraces all things. We sing it for ourselves so that we may remember. We sing it for the people in this room and the people online so that they may remember. And we sing it for the entire cosmos, knowing that everything that is animate and allegedly inanimate is filled with the I am presence, the love and the divine power and spirit of the One. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who From the love of pure spirit within me, we cherish this sacred moment in the I am as the I am. And we breathe in deeply. And then we exhale, opening our eyes as love and in service to what is as it is. And so it is.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, I don't even think I could say anything better than what was just said, but this song is music. That is what my vocal coach said. What do you feel when you hear this song? And I just said music, pure music. It is the music from the gods. It is the music of our soul. It is the breath that we take. And here it is. Of light, of form and hue, who has created all things new, created me from shapeless clay, an instrument on which you play. God of the dance that planets tread, who walks beside and soars ahead. Oh, let me move to worship thee. Come, Holy Spirit, dance with me. God of the written word, poet of time, teach me your words in your cadence and rhyme. Oh, Lord of beauty, Lord of art, who gives a song for every heart. Carve out my life, reshape and mold, and be the artist of my soul. Teach me your words and your cadence and rhyme, oh Lord of beauty, Lord of art, who gives a song for every heart. Carve out my life, reshape and mold, and be the artist of my soul. Carve out my life, reshape and mold, and be the artist of my soul.
Thank you, Shanti and Chris. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So today's message, it's actually a trio. Actually, Bernie and Lita, why don't you come on up here, and we'll just give you some love as you come to the stage. Thank you. How do you like the new stripes on the stage?
Red.
Yeah, me too. That way no one's, well, it's for safety. Okay. Anyway, we're talking about the alchemy of sacred service. And I don't know if there's a lot of newer faces here today, but this was taken a while ago when, you know how a lot of us wear those little heart pins? This was us making the heart pins, probably 5 or 6 years ago. The heart pins are harder to make than they look. They don't always come out looking like hearts. As one of my friends said, mine is a sad kidney. It's not a heart. But anyway, we enjoyed the service of making the heart pins, and perhaps we'll do it again sometime. I wanted to start by telling you this story from a book, a story from this book, How Can I Help, which is by Ram Dass, which is our featured book for this month. And it's a story about this man that was in the hospital. He was an elderly man. He was African American. He was old and tiny, and yet had such spirit, such a beautiful, beautiful spirit. He was very sick as well. But he said whenever his doctors would come into his room. How many of you have ever been at a teaching hospital or worked at a teaching hospital? So you know that when you see your doctor, you see like 15 doctors, right? They all come in. And the doctors would come into this man's room, and the man would go, "Hi, boys." "Hi, boys. How's it going?" And this went on and on and on. And then one night he was there alone, and the doctor on call was called into the man's room because he was sick again. And the man said to him, as the doctor walked into the room, he said, "Who you? Who you? You know, who are you? Who you?" And the doctor paused, and he started to say, "I am Dr. So-and-so," whatever his last name was. But he couldn't really think of what to say, because in that moment he realized, well, yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a father, and I'm also a son, and I'm also a brother and a sister, and I like playing golf. I'm a golfer. I like playing with my kids. I'm a father. I'm all of these things. And he couldn't really answer. So we had this conversation with this man, and then when the doctor left the man's bedside after a great conversation and about how the doctor was going to help him, the man said, "Thank you. It's been nice meeting you, doctor." And I loved what the author of this story said. He said, "The man took away my degree," when he said, "Who you?" and then gave it back to me with, "and also, and also, and also, and also." And then he called him doctor at the end. "And also, and also, and also" was scribbled across his degree from that moment forward, and he'll never forget that. That we're not only our title, that we're not only mom, we're not only dad, we're not only brother, we're not only sister. We are so many things all at once. There's this richness to who we are. And sometimes we get lost in the roles and the responsibilities that we play, but we actually move in and out of various identities. But underlying all of those identities, there is something steady and stable behind our roles, behind our identities. And we rest in that and are free to simply be, to be who we are. That's why we sing, "I am remembering who I am." We are all of the things, we are all of our roles and our identities, but we're also so much more than that. We are that presence and that power that rests behind all identities. And service can help us abide in that place, in our best and truest self. So that's what we're talking about today, is service. And we've got some wonderful helpers here to talk about the alchemy of loving service that opens us up to being. We have many, many wonderful people in this center who serve, but these two are getting ready to teach a class. So we just picked on them, and they're up here. How's that feel? Good, huh? Yeah, good. Okay, good. Yeah, so we've got here Lita Martin, who's a practitioner, and Bernie Austin, who is a practitioner emeritus, meaning that she's served for over 20 years. So let's again give them some big love, okay? All right. Yay! All right. So you've got the chairs of honor. Yeah, I'm pretty happy up here, and I'm going to a kids' flag football game after this, one of our youth. So that's why I'm dressed this way.
Did you bring pom-poms?
I didn't bring pom-poms, but I can stop and get some on the way if you know a pom-pom store, Bernie, if you're up on that. Okay. Okay, good. So I want to start, and we actually didn't really rehearse this. We talked about it, but let's just start, and whoever wants to jump in will jump in. Both of you have served so much in this community, and I'm curious: what have you received? What have you gained from serving? And whoever wants to start can start. Okay.
Well, I'm going to talk about my most recent receiving. I've served a million different places, and when I say a million, I'm not exaggerating. The most recent thing that I have done is I've been gathering interviews from many of the volunteers that have shown up at the center. And in the asking the simple question of, well, how have you served? Who's inspired you? What kinds of things do you get from getting the giving of service? And it went from, well, I do this job and I've had this experience, and then it moved into that heart space where it became not just service, not just giving, but it moved into a sacred kind of connection. And what happened to me is there was this, I told Bonnie, it's like, it's the Grinch moment where my heart grew and grew and grew. And what's interesting about it, I already thought I had an open heart. I already thought I was giving a lot. I already thought I had a great practice of appreciation until I talked with each of these people individually. And to feel that heart space between the two of us and make that connection. That's exactly why I do the kind of service that I do. Why do I say hello to you at the door when I'm here? Why do I walk up the aisle and sit on the counter, the edge of those chairs and chat with you for 5 minutes before the service? Because there is that heart connection, and it makes my heart swell at seeing your success, at seeing your satisfaction with being here. That's why I do what I do.
Oh, that's beautiful, Bernie. Thank you. Thank you. Lita, how about you?
How can I follow
well,
that?
I think you'll follow it just great.
When I think about service and what I get, it's not thinking about what I get, but it's moving from I to we. That sense of connection and upliftment and empowerment. It's a joy to serve. And I think service is love in action. So no matter what we're doing, and everybody here serves, we're all in relationship with someone. Someone other than ourselves, but ourself, other people, the earth, the divine. And everything we do supports that and nurtures that. So service is an act of love.
Yes. And one thing I love about what you both have said is that last week when I was speaking about service, sort of the introductory chapter to service, I was talking about how some of us have like this longing, or something's missing, or like it's like an itch that isn't scratched, right? And I think you guys have scratched your itch, you know, that there's something beautiful in... Stop looking at me like that. Yeah, there's something beautiful in serving, and we don't even know how powerful it is until we do it. You know, until we do it and we start doing it, and seeing. It's so funny because what you're saying is that, like you're kind of saying you do it because it feels good, but it also feels good to see the other person feel good. So it's such an affirmation of what we teach. It's that oneness. Bernie's doing a Mobius strip. We don't know who is the server or who is the served when we serve, right? Yeah. What exactly is it that you're serving when you serve, though? What do you think? Is it a what? Is it a who? Is a...
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Okay. Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's serving. It's like when we see namaste, I bow to the divine in you, and you bow to the divine in me. So it's serving life, it's serving God, it's serving divinity, it's serving the uniqueness in every person.
Bern?
It's the idea of the me to we.
Right.
That idea that when I stand before you to do something for you, not really, but when I'm there in that position, it's that connection, that the energy, I mean, it's all about a vibrational energy. It just flows back and forth. Lita and I have that when we teach classes. Actually, whenever we're together, we have this thing going on. It's like,
Yes.
look.
Yes.
One of the congregants here is interviewing her, and she's going, I don't know, there's just something that you and Lita have when you're together. And it's like, well, yeah. And I told Lita that, and she goes, Bernie, it's vibration. I go, oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, that.
Because it is that energy of connection, that heart to heart, heart to heart, heart to heart. When I become the partner in the moment, then the energy grows. And when we have a class, when you are in the class, when we become the class, we grow, and there's an expansion that goes on and on and on, and it's just like, watch it go, there it goes, watch it go. I wish we could see it.
I know.
Let's figure out
Wouldn't
a
that
way
be cool?
to create the colors.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You know,
really spectacular.
Yeah, and what Bernie's saying about vibrational energy too is, I've been again, I go through phases, but I've been listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks, which I think, how many of you know Abraham Hicks, right? Channeler. If you haven't listened to her, she's wonderful. She's got a lot of beautiful things to say. And just this morning, I was listening to one where she was talking about, so often we're focused on what we want to manifest, but the real gift is the vibration. And that's what I see for service, is that she says the most important thing in the world is to keep our vibrational level high, to keep it in a good place, a receiving place, a place where we really remember who we are and where we can really experience all of the glories of the cosmos. And what I hear in what Bernie and Lita are saying too is that, it may feel like you're helping the person in front of you, but really you may be helping the third star from the left. That's light years away, and that third star from the left is also helping you by shining its light long after it's gone on you. It's beautiful.
And the ripple effect too, when
Yeah.
we're giving to someone else, it expands them,
Yes.
it expands us,
Yes.
and then it ripples out to all the other people that they're in touch with.
Absolutely. So the ripple effect is a Mobius strip also. A Mobius strip is like a figure 8 that's twisted, so you never are really sure if you're on the inside or the outside if you're tracing it. I see some Mobius strip fans back there, yes. And are you rippling to others, or are you rippling to yourself? The answer is yes. Yes, always.
You're rippling to everything.
Yes, absolutely.
It is that, oneness?
Right. Wait, what? Oneness?
I know, oneness.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful. Now, as we were talking, as Bernie and Lita and I were talking to think a little bit about what we might say, we did encounter the question about burnout, that some people serve to the place where they start to feel burnt out. And some people in their regular lives, if they're taking care of somebody who's not well, or they're challenged with a lot of stress at their jobs or family things, that burnout can happen. And what do you guys have to say about burnout? Okay.
I have certainly been there. And in the class that we're writing, we're going to dive into this a lot. It is a process of discernment. What is mine to do? What is someone else's to do? What is God's to do? And a lot of prayer and meditation about what is the best way for me to serve not just another person, but myself. How can I do self-care? And many of us sacrifice our own self-care for others. So it's a process of learning.
Both of us are in the healing arts, and we work with people that come in and they're physically wrung out. And do we fix them? No. But we give them the presence of their mind and their body to come back into themselves so that they have more energy for themselves. And so with a class, it's all about self-care. I hate to say this, but it's always all about me. When I'm going to... I'm honest.
I hear you.
I'm
I hear you.
authentic. Okay, so when it's about, fine example, I've been fighting myself for 2 weeks and coughing and staying awake all night long coughing, and it's really exciting. It's not. And so I'm finally almost at the other side of that, and so I canceled every physical client that I had this week because I didn't have the energy to be there for me and to be there for my clients. And it's like, that's so rude. And I felt so badly about it, but I felt worse would have felt worse if I had gone and showed up half of myself or a quarter of myself and try to give to somebody else to bring their energy back to where they want it to be, to support them in a way that they can reclaim themselves. It's always about that energetic presence that's within. And how do we access it? Our beautiful singer today, as she was singing, she's talking about how the music lifts her up. And the idea of that is she has to take care of herself. She has to breathe. She has to hold her physical body in a way that brings in the music so that she can share it with us. It's exactly what we all do. Ooh, I just got chills.
I got chills too. As a former singer, it's like, oh yeah, you have to breathe to sing. So perhaps you also have to breathe to serve.
Yeah.
What about that?
Absolutely.
What the heck? Thanks, Bern.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
And it's also looking at what is your resistance? What is your resistance? And resistance can come physically, etherically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and how to move through that resistance and the old patternings that we have about what service was in the past, how someone served us maybe in a way that we didn't want, and how to reprogram in a way all of that. So that's going to show up in our class too. How do we clear out old programming and patterning about service to allow a new vortex in of appreciation for that process?
So are you saying that we may have some faulty ideas about what service really is? One or two?
Yes.
Wow.
Just a little.
Just a little, yeah. Yeah, it's funny, as Bernie was speaking, I was thinking about this story that I often tell about my friend Gerard, who used to live across the street from me, and I promise you this is going somewhere, but he said when he was in Catholic school, he used to go to dances at the Catholic church, and occasionally his hormones would get the best of him, and he'd snuggle a little too close to the girl he was dancing with, and then a nun would come out of nowhere and say, "Leave enough room for the Holy Spirit, Mr. Burkhardt." And I wonder if sometimes when we're trying to do everything for everybody, we're not leaving enough room for the whole of spirit, the wholeness of spirit. And if we were just able to let go of some of our compulsive service, perhaps another opportunity would arise. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah. And when you said resistance, so I thought of the resistance of self-care, how we resist self-care, but also how sometimes we resist stepping out on a limb and serving beyond our comfort zone. What do you know about that, serving beyond your comfort zone? Are you doing it right now? Because
Kind of.
yeah, you look pretty comfortable.
It's interesting that the idea of stepping beyond, you hear me say it all the time, well, just say yes.
Yeah.
And, it's been 23 years now
Yeah.
that I've been a practitioner, and every time that I'm asked to do something, I just say yes. And sometimes it's like, okay. Why? Because it's expanding my presence, my confidence, my sense of self. And it looks like I'm pretty comfortable up there. I was talking with one of our youth leaders as part of the interview, and I won't say that it was a him, but oh wait, it was a him. And he was talking about how sometimes when he gets up here, he loves to do it, and yet he's still nervous. Who recognized that Bill was nervous today? No, we didn't recognize that. And there's this sense of he just says yes, and he just gets up and does it. And it's the same for me. I just say yes and get up and do it. I've been Lonnie in doing the presentation with Bonnie up here, and it's like, yeah, that one kind of makes me nervous. I have never been a singer. Thank God, you'll never lose your job to me.
Oh, too bad. Yeah.
But there's that stepping in and
Yeah.
just saying yes.
Stepping in and saying yes, yeah.
I was going to say, when we say yes, there's another force that comes behind us that helps us carry through. So even if we don't think that we'll be able to do something when we say yes, the whole universe conspires to help us. So yes, I've been asked to do things that I didn't want to do, but it's like, okay, be with me. Spirit, be with me. Love, be with me. Kindness, be with me. And it moves mountains.
Very much the theme of Shanti's song,
Yes.
right? Yeah. And I do have to be just one little advocate for no. Occasionally there is a no. When I volunteer with Service Space, who is an organization, a global organization where I volunteer, occasionally we'll do an in-person retreat, and we have a community night where we invite all these people in, and the parking is limited. And I always tell Nipun, the founder, I will do anything, but do not ask me to do valet parking. Because some of you know my driving stories. I back into stuff. So if we want a happy thing, I'm not going to do valet parking. So there is that, beyond our capacity to serve. But the other thing that I want to say too is that sometimes what I find so fascinating in being in this position is that somebody will serve me and they don't even know that they've served me. Somebody has given me invisible service. And I'll tell a brief story about that. Am I talking too much?
No.
Okay, I'll tell a brief story about this. And I did not ask for permission, but hopefully this person won't be too mad at me afterwards and whatever. But I was with the bunny rabbits one time. We've got bunny rabbits in the backyard of the church, of the center. And there were these two little girls who lived across the street, and they came in to see the bunny rabbits. And I was with someone that is a fan of the bunny rabbits, that's with them a lot. And we had a couple of carrots to give them. And we gave the little girls the carrots. And we said, you give these carrots to the bunny rabbits, right? So one of the little girls gave her carrot to the bunny rabbit. And then the other bunny rabbit came over and started eating the carrot too. And the person I was with said, that's called sharing. And I'm still talking about it. It was so beautiful, it broke my heart. It broke my heart that maybe a child doesn't know what sharing is. But this person, this regular person who didn't even know she was doing something great, identified sharing for these children. And for me, by the way. I thought, oh, that bunny rabbit's snatching that carrot out of the other ones. You know, I live with 2 wild dogs, so there's that going on a lot. But still, it was just so, I don't think that person intended to serve, but she did. She served me, and it was probably a year ago, and I'm still thinking about it. How about you guys? What about unintentional service?
I think you speak about this a lot, that random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty. In every moment, we can share our light and love with anyone. And I just forgot the question.
Unintentional service, do you do it? Or service, just doing service in what you're doing, you know? Yeah.
It's like, what moves me? What moves me to see you light up, or to empower you, or to make you feel expanded, or to move from a place that may be out of alignment in myself. So when I can be of love and joy and light to someone else, it helps both of us. And it's this exponential magic that happens.
Yes.
We came up with that word alchemy because alchemy is something that happens when we connect with other people.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Vern.
Week before, I was in a favorite eating spot, and there was a gal behind the counter who was very different than I was used to seeing on the regular in this place, because it's one of my regular spots. And she had all of this artistry on her eyes and her hair and in the piercings that she had. And I looked at her when I was giving my order, and I was admiring the talent that it took to put this whole characterization together. And I went and sat down and had the meal, and I was talking with my friend that I was with, and we were getting ready to leave, and I could not stop myself. And I went up to the counter and put my hand out and touched her and asked her if she was an artist, because she had created artistry in her eyes. It was fabulous. And the conversation went into her desire to create fashion, and I just saw her as being an artist for makeup and all these things. And it was just like, in my heart, I affirmed it for her, whatever that meant for her. But to see this person, and I told Reverend Bonnie, and I go, it was somebody that my mother would have gone, oh my God, look at that woman. I was like, and I looked at her and I thought, oh my gosh, look at how wonderful her expression of beauty is, how she is using herself as a canvas, how she is bringing herself forward in a way that she felt really magnificent. And I recognized it, and I commented on it. And when we were walking out of the store, I just happened to glance, and she had the biggest smile on her face. And it's like, I hope that carries her through 10 years. Because that's what it felt to me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. There were times when I was little, I wish if somebody would just seen, Bernie, you're walking down the street really well.
Oh, everybody, assignment after the service. Tell Bernie she's walking through the social hall really well.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the power of positive reinforcement.
Yes.
We all want to be seen and acknowledged and heard. And whatever we can do to acknowledge someone with a smile, with a hug, with an act of service, which is an act of love. Yeah,
And so it sounds like you're saying that service may be a lot easier than we think it is.
absolutely.
It can be sometimes stretching past your comfort zone. And maybe even talking to the woman about her eyes was, oh, no, talk to strangers, Maybe even that was a little bit of a stretch. But just taking that leap, it's so much easier than we think. And think about the results, too, that there was such beauty in that moment for you, enough beauty that you're talking about it here to all of these beautiful people. Yeah. I think you guys have answered all my questions. One more, though. At the heart of everybody, do you think there's a common thing that we're all seeking? Can you name it?
Do you have 15 or 20 minutes? Yeah,
No.
Years, maybe?
No.
No, actually, my first one is satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
My second one is belonging.
Mm-hmm.
My third one is recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be my three.
So we're all seeking satisfaction, belonging, and recognition.
Mm-hmm.
I would say connection,
Connection.
love,
Love.
and acknowledgement.
Yes. And I say yes to all of those. Yes. And joy. I got to throw in the joy. That's
It all
me.
bubbles down to it. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So speaking of joy, I just want to show you a couple of pictures of how Bernie and Lita serve. I'm so happy that Barb is here today. There she is. There's Barb. I found this in some old slides, and that's Lita and Barb serving in the garden, which they do so beautifully. They may be weeding, they may be watering, but there are other garden servants here as well, many, and it brightens the lives of the plants. It brightens the life of the church, the people passing by the church that don't ever even intend to go here. They just see the beauty around it, and beauty is.
They always want to take cuttings.
Oh, they do? And I'll bet you let them, right? Because it's thriving out there, And then this is a picture, this is not Bernie serving, this is Bernie serving away from the center, which also happens. We ripple out into the community. This is Bernie, I pulled this off your Facebook page. She's doing a presentation for Ribbons of Life, and it says, "This photo looks like I'm describing a fishing expedition. It was this big." But I think, let's call it a fishing expedition for the highest and best in each of us. And that's what this is. That's what service is. It really is going within and calling forth the highest and best in others, the highest and best in ourselves. And again, we really, at the end of it, don't know who is helping whom. It's just one gigantic Mobius strip of love, attention, recognition, all of these beautiful things that Bernie and Lita mentioned. So I'm going to just put up a thing for their class here. It's Sacred Service. It's Wednesdays, May 24th through June 14th. It's in person. And they're just going to assist us in deepening in individual growth and expanding our spiritual connection, discovering what type of service is important for each of us to reveal the best that is within us. There's going to be guest speakers. I'm going to be there some of the time, and I think it's going to be a beautiful class. How could it be other than beautiful with these two doing it? So let's give them lots of love and just say thank you. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Sure, you are complete. And now we're calling forth, right? Lonnie? Yeah? Okay. All right. Hi.
Well,
Hi.
let's step down here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so blessed to have so many wonderful practitioners and church members, and what a gift you gave yourself today. I think it's a great opportunity to see things differently, to see the blessing in things that maybe weren't a calling for us. And I know that service sometimes can be that way as offering, and that it's a great opportunity to know expansion and joy, and it begins with you. So this morning, I just invite you to place your offering over your heart and set that intention of joy, and then repeat after me. We trust in spirit.
We trust in spirit.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are.
We offer this gift.
We offer this gift.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
Our gifts bless many
Our gifts bless many
and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways,
and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways,
so that we may give again.
so that we may give again.
And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Lonnie.
It's heavy. Hello, I'm back again. And for my next song, it's called Trust the Wind, and it's from Brave, the movie. It's one of my favorites. She's such a, she's a woman who just is breaking all already set, like, what is the word for, like, norms for women. And I just think it's such an inspiration. So here it is. When the old wind is calling and the sky is clear and bright, misty mountains sing and beckon, lead me out into the light. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. Where dark woods hide secrets and the mountains are fierce and bold, deep waters hold reflections of times lost long ago. I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy and proud as the eagle screams. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. And touch the sky. Chase the wind, chase the wind, and touch the sky.
Right. Thank you. Thank you again, Shanti and Chris. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? I forgot to pray after this thing, didn't I? Dang. Well, I'll have to do an extra long one before we get out of here. No wonder Lonnie was like, oh, it's time for me. Okay. Silly me. Okay. Oh. Okay. It's that kind of a morning. All right. So we do have a flower dedication this morning. And let's see. Jennifer. She closes it with crazy glue. Ooh. Gorilla glue. Okay, here we go. All right. Is the suspense killing you? Okay. Oh, how sweet. Okay, Jason. Yeah. Okay. The flowers are donated in memory of Debbie Zell, who transitioned on April 8th this year. What a beautiful smile she had. Wishing peace and solace in this time of grief to Ron, her husband, and the family. This is from Mark Lager. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. So sweet. Thank you. Okay, so if I go over this pretty quickly, you can find anything that's needed on the website, on our webpage, www.venturacsl.org, and there's also a desk out there that has information. Gourmets for God, time to pay up. The bidding is over, and it's time to show us the money, okay? Okay, we'll leave that. Jennifer will help you with that later on, okay? Sacred Service, the class that we talked about, is coming up, and you can sign up for that online, or you can get more information at the desk over there with Lita and Bernie. We have many outreach volunteer opportunities. We're working with Mercy House, still collecting new underwear and socks. I think the collection is going to be over pretty soon. Family to Family, we're serving lunch to our unhoused friends on the first Mondays of the month. Also, Lift Up Your Voice, which helps rehome people. It's a beautiful program, and they are seeking donations of small items of furniture or small kitchen items and bicycles. And we're also partners with Step Up Ventura. More on that coming later. Choir rehearsals are today at 11:30, every Sunday for the most part at 11:30, and they are downstairs in Martha's Hall. Everyone is welcome. And then after the service, we've got Sunday hospitality, and be sure to check out our bookstore for books. And there's a giveaway book table that has some other items on it as well. And then one of the best things you can do is to pray with a practitioner after the service. The practitioners wearing white stoles are humble, helpful servants, and they will be delighted to pray with you for whatever is on your heart, okay? So I think that's all we got. Now I'm going to do that extra long prayer, so brace yourselves. It's going to be about 20 minutes or so, and then we're done. So, all right. So turning within, I just know that divine love has been here through this beautiful, beautiful service, in all of the ups and downs and all of the little snafus. Oh my goodness, doesn't God have a sense of humor? It just delights me so much. And so I just am in love with love in this moment. I connect to it, and I know that every single person here is connected to that love. And how wonderful to come together with beautiful people that know that love is all there is, and that love is real, and that we get to connect to it on a regular and beautiful basis in a way that expands our hearts, but also expands the heart of the world as we allow that love to circulate through us, to serve through us, to serve us as we serve others. What a beautiful, beautiful expression of love we are, and we have touched the hem of that holy garment here this morning as we have celebrated love and service and alchemy together. And so I'm just so grateful for everyone that said yes to church today. Trust me that you being here just makes a difference, that your energy added to this spiritual sacred soup that we create in this vortex of energy here, that this makes a difference. It makes a difference to every single person in this room and beyond the walls of this center. I also give thanks for the transformation that I know has occurred today because of this service, because of our time together, that is already transforming in the mind of God and in our lives and in all things. And with a heart that is so filled with gratitude, I bless this spiritual center, I bless this teaching, I bless all paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, fundamentalists, atheists, agnostics, all beings everywhere, for all beings in their own way are some part of a blessing. And so we just celebrate, we give thanks, and we love completely, deeply, and beautifully. With a heart that is so filled with all that love, I say, thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery, and together we say, and so it is.